Hello there. My name is Jamel, and I am here today to share with you some experiences that I have had in hopes that it will help you along your journey. And sometimes it might bring up some emotions, and sometimes it might um, hopefully, will be able to help you and gain some answers and some insights into maybe creating a better life for you and your loved ones. So I'm titling this one, What to Expect When You're Not Expecting. Because when you first decide or when you first get pregnant and you are so excited to bring this baby into the world, you read all the books and you get so excited about all the fun adventures that you're going to be able to have when this baby comes into the world, and you start having all these expectations and ideas of what the baby's going to look like and what they're going to do when they grow up and who they're going to marry and the fun things that you're going to be able to do with these kids. And I remember when we decided to start having kids, I started reading all these books so that I could learn how to care for myself while I was pregnant. And then a little bit of information was available for when when you have a baby and how to care for them. And I'm a military wife. And in the military, when we first moved to our first duty station up in Alaska, it was really cool because they had all the new people come to this meeting and they gave us this book and they're like, here, if you have any healthcare questions, you can look in this book and you can learn how to be able to care for yourself and your family by gaining answers from this book that we have. And so I took the book and didn't really give it a whole lot of thought until we decided to have our first baby. And I am a mom of 3 boys, and it has been an incredible journey. But one of the books that I read was What to Expect When You're Expecting. And it was very eye-opening because it kind of goes through all the details of what your pregnancy is going to be like, what the labor and the delivery is going to be like. And it kind of freaks you out a little bit, but then you're like, okay, I can do this. But then when you have a baby who has disabilities or who has medical complications right from the very beginning, that's not in these books. And I did not know how to govern myself. I didn't know how to help this baby who had medical issues. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I kind of jumped 10 steps forward. So I'm a military wife. I have 3 boys. My oldest is 20, my youngest is 15, and my middle son is about to turn 18. So with each one of our boys, we've had different things come up throughout our journey that has taught us lots of different things. And each one has come with their own traits, their own journey, their own things that they have to learn. So that's been really cool to be able to help them experience life and learn and grow. But when we had our last son, this is when I learned to grow the most, because we knew immediately that something was wrong and we couldn't get doctors to really take us seriously. So our son was not diagnosed until he was 8 months old. That's a long time when you're a baby and you have all of these different milestones that you're supposed to reach every single month. So 8 months is a long time to not reach any milestones. So at 8 months, we finally were able to get in to see a neurologist. And we lived in Kansas at the time, and we had to drive 3 hours away to the closest pediatric neurologist. And that was a tough drive. knowing that we were possibly going to get some answers that day, but also afraid of what those answers were going to bring. Something that parents who have kids with special needs, with medical needs, with physical disabilities they're not always open to tell you how difficult it was to receive the news that their child is sick, or their child has a disability, or their child has something wrong with them, that it's going to be a battle for their life every single day. So at 8 months old, we were given the diagnosis for my son that he had had a massive stroke. And I'm talking massive. He's missing about 25% of the left side of his brain. And then we found out that he has severe epilepsy on top of that. And so begins our journey. Nothing was as we expected. Nothing was what we had hoped for. And for this son, this baby of ours, we had no idea how to even move forward. We had pretty much lost all hope because we'd never heard of this before. We'd never heard of a baby having a stroke while they're in their mother's stomach and then having extreme epilepsy on top of it. And then the doctors told us there's a good chance that our son would never walk or talk. That was devastating. As a parent, you never want to hear those words that your child is going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of their life, that your child is never going to be able to speak to you. The amount of hope that we lost that day was incredible. And it was so difficult to find it. And as a last ditch effort, as we're walking out the door, the doctor, he says, well, try anything that comes your way. You never know what you're going to find that might help him. And maybe he'll have a different outcome than what I've just told you. So we left that day, and on that 3-hour car ride back, we just cried. Our 2 older boys sat in the back seat, wondering what was happening because me and my husband just cried. I think I sobbed the whole way home, not knowing what we were going to do, how we were going to move forward, and how we were going to help our son be able to overcome these hurdles that he was going to face. Life sometimes has a funny way of showing up and bringing unexpected things into your life when you least expect it. And at the time, I carried so much guilt, and I felt like it was all my fault, because this supposedly happened while he was in my stomach. So for 10 years, I carried around that guilt, feeling like it was my fault that this had happened to our son. But I'm going to tell you right now, somewhere along the journey, we found hope. Somewhere along the journey, we found answers. We found new ideas. We found new options. We started to learn and grow in ways that we never thought that we would ever need to. Also, that we would be able to help take care of our son and help him have a better life. So I'm going to pause for now because I don't want the videos to be too long. And I will be back in just a few minutes. So I hope you'll hit play on the next one to learn more ways that you can find hope and more ways that you can help encourage yourself or your little ones or family members to be able to look in new directions and open your hearts and open your minds to new pathways and a new journey. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.